Welcome back to Castlevania Ravenloft RPG. And so far, we just have Elias and Alexandra with us. But Jack will be joining us soon. And eventually, maybe, hopefully, we'll get Mr. Jeeves back. But for now, we just have our two players. And the last we left our adventurers, they had a very fun day as they were introduced to the town of Vallaki, where they unleashed a horde of vampires, and then Mr. Jeeves was accused for stealing the bones from a church, which sanctified that church's holy ground. And he was almost hung for that as well. But thanks to his own efforts and the persuasive bargaining skills of Alexandra,
Shut up.
not to mention Jack getting the best of Baron Vargas Velakovich, he was able to use the Baron's own ego against him and get in good with him. In fact, he got a job offer from the Burgomaster. But everyone is currently in the Blue Water Inn, where they have met the couple Erwin and Danica, and they are the hosts that are serving them wine. Their children, Brom and Bray, came down to show off their Blinsky werewolf toy, which Error and Myrtle really liked, so they're upstairs playing with the boys. And just as everyone was enjoying their wine, upstairs, where the rooms are rented out, a man appeared on the balcony, and he looks to be quite an interesting character, not dressed like anyone else you've seen here in Barovia, and his eyeglasses seem to be tinted a bit, which is pretty rare. Mostly spectacles are just made of regular glass, but this man looks like he's not from around these parts. And he notices that there are new patrons in the inn, and he walks down and has a seat on the end of the bar and orders a glass of wine, Great Mash number 3. Now, you guys haven't had a good rest since you woke up this morning in the encampment of the Vistani at the Seer Pool. And since then, you've had a very eventful day. One so that leaves Jeeves in very poor condition, and he is currently manacled, thanks to his adventures with Captain Izek Strozny of the Guard. But it looks like you guys are welcomed here, at least. You have a brief moment of reprieve. So, Elias and Alexandra, what would you like to do here in the Blue Water Inn?
Well, as suspicious and strangely dressed as that man is, I think it would be best if we took a rest for now. We're all a little bit battle-weary.
What can you describe him more to us, Mike? What does he look like?
Sure, I can actually show you. Let's see. This is what the man looks like. He has a cane, and he looks to be an older man.
And we can see his name, just so you know.
Yes, he says, "Oh, welcome, strangers. I have not seen you here before. My friend, you look quite beat up. I am a doctor if you need assistance." And he's talking to Mr. Jeeves. And Mr. Jeeves kind of shrugs and says, "I've seen better days. If you want to patch me up, I wouldn't mind."
We would appreciate your assistance, sir. But at what price would it come?
And when you say that, he turns his head to the bartender, and the bartender gives him like a smile, as if everything's fine. And he says, if you are friends here of the tavern owner, there is no cost for helping someone in need.
Then we would appreciate your generosity if we could impart upon it.
I have a little bit of business to attend to first. Erwin, may I order a wolf steak? And I will be right back. So he orders a wolf steak, and eventually it's brought out. And he actually walks out the front door with it.
Does
What
he
an odd man.
as he's walking, Mike, does he find his path with the cane, or does he walk normally?
He walks normally. You can tell
Okay.
he's not blind.
Okay, I was wondering. All right.
And you can also see that he doesn't really favor the cane either, as if he depends on it to walk.
See. Okay.
From his mannerisms and stuff, you can kind of tell that he's very flamboyant, like putting on a show. Did you want to say anything to him before he left, as he's walking to the front door?
I have nothing to say, really.
Okay. And Erwin says, forgive me for not introducing you, but I gotta find my voice. Erwin's a very specific voice. He says, you got to forgive me. That there was Octavio. He's a good feller. Sorry I didn't introduce you earlier.
It's fine. He seems like a kind man.
He's a-
What was that about with ordering the steak?
Oh, don't know. Be easier to eat it here.
Very curious. Well, do you suppose we should wait for him? But we're quite tired.
Yes, your friend here looks like he could definitely use patching up by Octavio. But, if you'd like, I can show you to your rooms.
Well, I imagine Octavio would need the room to treat him anyway, so I suppose we'll do that.
Octavio has his own room.
Oh, interesting. Is he a common patron here, or a normal fixture?
He's become quite the normal fixture around here. He stayed with us, and he's got a room for quite a while.
That name sounds oddly familiar. Elias, isn't that the name of that traveling caravan we saw when we first entered town?
Octavio's Caravan of Wonders, I think it was called. Yeah.
Oh, yes, he's seeking talent for his carnival.
Well, he might be quite
Carnival.
interested in our friend here. We have an ex-jester, Jack, who I motioned to, and of course he's not here. That's quite interesting. He didn't strike me as someone that would run such a thing.
Mr. Jack is kinda here. He just connected to Fantasy Grounds, but he hasn't just joined the Discord server just yet. So, my friends, tell me more about your adventures.
I'm not sure where to start, my friend. We haven't been in this country long. Of course, we come from beyond the mist. One of our first things that we did was we fell a wyvern in the village of Barovia, sent from Strahd's castle. We met Strahd in a way of sorts.
And live to tell the tale.
Lived to tell the tale, and not much longer from that. The first thing we did was we cleared the town from skeletons and all of the other sorts of monsters. And since then, we've also taken down a vampire already. Actually, believe it or not, it was the son of the priest over there, Father Donovich's son Doru. We had to put him down. And just many adventures since that with ghouls, escaping
Night
wolves.
hag.
The night hag, yes. One of the pie ladies, I'm sure you're at least vaguely familiar with. Apparently there's 3. We have sent one of them running. She's not dead, but escaped to the ethereal realm. And now we're here.
What about these children you got that are upstairs playing with Brom and Bray?
Yes, the children were from the windmill, just south of here, where the pie woman was keeping them for her pies.
Oh, that's terrible. You mean they made pies of children?
Yes,
Yes,
apparently
indeed.
that was the main ingredient.
And they were a big hit all around these towns, so it's quite a disturbing turn of events.
And why is your friend there in shackles?
Well, first thing we came into town, we were checking around the stockyard there, and looked around the general store for a bit. Then we went to the coffin maker's house, just to, it seemed a little suspicious. We looked around, and our friend Mr. Jeeves climbed up to take a look around because the guy acted quite strangely, and he happened upon some vampires there.
I
And,
knew he was harboring vampires just from the look of him.
Yes, our friend here is a career vampire hunter, so she's quite well versed in dealing with them. But so the vampires burst forth, 6 of them from crates, and I turned them from the town. They escaped. The vampires did, which is not ideal, but at least no one was hurt badly, except again our friend Mr. Jeeves here, who is in poor condition. And not long after that, it just so happens that the coffin maker accused him of stealing the bones from a nearby church that was keeping it safe. So then Isaac shackled him and took him to the stockyard and almost hanged him, but he managed to escape through some effort of Alexandra's.
What a tale. You guys have been through hell today, eh?
Yes, indeed.
Well, I'm surprised Isaac Strasny didn't hang him. Whenever that man gets a good reason to, he likes to see blood.
I can be persuasive. And she cracks her knuckles.
And Danica, she goes behind the bar next to her husband there and says, very quietly to him, "Dear, these seem like able-bodied folk. Do you think they might help us out with our problem?" And Erwin says, "Love, don't bother them right now. They've got enough stuff on their plate." And then he turns back to Jack. "You with us, Jack?"
Hopefully.
I can delay it for a little bit and get back to you if you
No,
need.
I should be here.
He says to Jack, "So you've got an interest in a certain person that you're looking for then?
I do.
I can talk to you more about that in private.
Excellent. Where is private?
How about we go off to the kitchen for a moment?"
All right.
Alright, and he escorts you to the kitchen here. This room looks like the kitchen of someone who loves to cook. Has piles of pots, walls lined with utensils and shelves of ingredients, and all manner of pleasant odors. 2 lanterns hang above a sturdy pine work table in the middle of the clutter. A pot of soup bubbles on the hearth. Roll a perception check. All right, he
It's gonna be
says.
another one of those nights,
I
huh?
am focused.
He says, "All right, here's good enough. Ask what you need to. I'll be as helpful as I can."
When was the last time you saw this man? Where was he, and what do you think? What orifice do you think is going to be the most unpleasant for me to shove things into? Also, do you have a use for this potato in mind?
I like your spirit, lad. The last place we saw him was deep in the woods. That's where he usually stays at. And I'll be happy to tell you more, but I must ask you, what do you plan on doing with him?
Look at the potato and smile.
Well, I don't know how able you think you are, but you might be biting off a little bit more than you can chew. The man you're looking for is a werewolf.
I had no idea.
Well, what clued you in then?
Room with much, much blood. A beast could have done it, and a man running away. Full moon, things of that nature.
Yes, well, what do you think about the shapeshifters like that?
Like everyone else, some are good, some are bad. This one needs a potato shoved up his ass and pulled out the other side.
That's a good answer. Better than most. We have our own secrets. Sorry if I seem a little bit cryptic, but that's all I'd like to say about the matter at the moment.
I'm a fan of cryptic.
Give me a couple of days. I can find you his location. Exactly.
Thank you.
All I ask is maybe a little help first.
By all means, what do you need?
Well, you and your friends seem like pretty able-bodied folk. We're running dangerously low on wine here.
Wizard's wine?
Indeed. The old crow that owns the Wizards of Wine hasn't made good on his delivery.
Old Crow, you say?
I was wondering if maybe you'd go and find out why for me. I'd go myself, but there's too much stuff to do around here. I can't just leave the tavern alone.
Where is it?
It's on its way to Kresk.
Why do you call him an Old Crow?
It's just a good nickname for him. Fits him well.
Let me see.
You can roll insight on that if you'd like. You think there might be more behind the name? If you want to press.
I don't believe that's why you're saying that. I'm sorry, all of my tact fled when dealing with the Burgomaster. I have very little left.
I can understand you. The day's only half over and you've had a rough one, so just know that the old crow and I have some history. We don't get along as much as I'd like we to.
Just wondering if maybe his house was called the House of Crows or the Nest of Crows or something similar.
Nah. There's worse folk in the land than the old crow, I promise you. I just need to know why the wine stopped flowing. But I understand you have your own business to attend to here first. Your friend's in shackles. Rictavio said that he'd patch him up when he gets back.
I don't think it should be too much of a problem to look into the disappearing wine.
In that case, your rooms are free, and what little bit we have of hospitality to offer you in food and drink, it's yours.
I appreciate the offer, but I insist you let us pay.
No, your money's no good here, sir. You can spend it wisely elsewhere.
Bow deeply in gratitude.
I'm Erwin Mardikoff. What was your name again?
Jack Motley.
Well, Jack, it's my pleasure. Especially because the friend of my enemies is my friend, so I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
I suppose I should get back behind the bar.
It couldn't hurt.
Alright, and with that, he leads you back out into the main room in the tavern. The tap room.
Keep the potato.
And, what would you guys like to do as you're waiting for Rictavio to return?
I would love a nap. Even just It's a short one.
Sure. Well, Danica says, well, love, if you need to rest, I'll take you up to your room.
Please do, ma'am.
And
I
please
would greatly appreciate
just
it.
remind me exactly what rooms you guys got. There was 1 bedroom with 4 beds, 2 bedroom with 2 beds. And
Can we take all of them?
I think, yeah, that's what I remember is you said all of them. I can't quite remember why.
Because we have us and the kids.
Ah, okay. Alright. Well, Danica takes you outside, actually. She leads you outside of the tavern. And she takes you around to some steps on the north side. And she leads you up those to the balcony that was open below to the tap room that you saw. And there on the guest balcony, this 20-foot long balcony provides a clear view of the bar and has a wooden railing carved with raven motifs. The tap room's many lanterns illuminate the rafters and cast ominous shadows on the peaked ceiling. And she takes you to your rooms. I'll describe the top right room first. It says, 2 cozy beds with matching footlockers rest in the far corners of this 15-foot square room. Wolf furs are heaped atop of each bed. Between the beds, a lamp sits on a table under a shuttered window. 2 black wardrobes stand against the wall by the door. And she says, here's one room. Do you want to see the rest before you decide where you sleep?
I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you. The architecture here is lovely. Is it very old?
Oh, yes. Our ancestors built this. We've always had it, so we love it so much. It's got its own little secrets. And she winks at you. She shows you another guest room that appears to be the same. And then she shows you the 4-bedded room. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
4 plain beds with straw mattresses line the north walls of this well-lit room. Each bed comes with a matching footlocker to store clothing and other belongings. A table and 4 chairs occupy the corner across from the door, and an oil lamp resting on the table casts a bright yellow flame. And then you noticed that when she took you outside to access these rooms, there was actually another set of stairs in the tap room below that went up to the balcony where Rictavio was standing at. So just to clarify, the balcony across from the balcony you came up on was the one where Rictavio had come from. And it had its own little door over there. So you think there may be more rooms over on that opposite end. But Danica says, rest up, dear. Is there anything that you need? Anything I can provide for you before you take your rest?
A glass of warm milk would be lovely, but apart from that, I think I've got all I need. Thank you for your hospitality.
I'll bring it right up to you.
Thank you. You've been most kind.
And she takes her leave back down to the tap room. Elias, what would you like to do before Octavio gets back?
So Mike, you were saying that there are 2 rooms with 2 beds each, and then 1 4-bedroom, right?
Yeah, and if you look, let me just update the view here. Maybe that would help. Does that? If you zoom out on the image of the tavern,
Yeah.
you'll see.
Okay, I got it. All right. Yeah, I thought there was just like 2 rooms instead of 3, so we only need 2 of these rooms then.
Well, I mean, there's 4 party adventurers and there's 2 children, so I guess it just depends on what bed, who's sleeping where.
Yeah, I think we'll give the children the 2 nicer beds to themselves, and the party will take the 4 straw beds, probably. But Elias doesn't have much else to say or do. He's just as tired as everyone else, so he politely thanks Danica before she leaves. And is Jeeves with us now? Or is he still at the bottom?
I actually
Jeeves
was
is
going to
still
have
sipping on
Alexandra
some
take
wine.
one of the rooms herself. That way she could just get some peace and quiet and rest.
Ah, okay. Which room would she like? They all
One
have...
of the 2-bedroom rooms.
Okay. Alright. The lady needs her privacy. And, it's still stormy outside, but it's still around noon. Everyone was having lunch downstairs when you guys came in. And enough time passes to where you are served your warm milk, and Rictavio appears back downstairs, and he speaks with Jeeves, and then takes Jeeves up the stairs that are already in the tap room, which lead to the balcony that he came from. So Rictavio is taking Mr. Jeeves to his room. And there you assume he will treat his wounds. And with that, I will issue a short rest for everyone. If you would like to roll your hit die on the character sheet down at the bottom, it will expend those and give you a little bit of healing.
Not as much as I would have hoped, but I'll take it.
And Elias, are you even hurt? No, you're not even injured. Okay, and then I will apply a short rest. If I can remember how. It's not that hard.
Well, we really need a long rest.
Yeah, but it's been too
hours.
soon.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are only halfway through this day.
Wow.
But you can spend a couple of hours. If you think the day feels long to you, try being Jeeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
You just applied it, so why didn't my things uncheck themselves, or do I have to do it manually?
it depends on what they were and if they're smart or something that I coded myself.
They're supposed to be reset after a short or long rest, so I'm just going to do it myself.
Okay.
All set.
And what about Jack? I know that you're resting as well, but what room did you stay in? And
Jack stole the wolf furs off of whatever bed Alexandria did not take, and is on.
Your mic cut out really bad, Logan.
Jack stole the wolf furs from whatever bed Alexandria did not take, and is on a straw mattress with them.
okay. All right. So a couple of hours pass. You feel a little better. Feel like you've collected yourself, and you are prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead. Hopefully. What would everyone like to do now?
Let's go check on Jeeves.
Okay. Is everyone checking or just Elias?
No, I'll go with him.
Okay. You knock on the door of Rictavio's room, and he opens it wide and allows you to see that it's a small private room, much smaller than any of the ones that you've rented. And it says, this small guest room contains a bed heaped with wolf furs, a footlocker, a tall wardrobe, and a writing desk with matching chair. Oil lamps rest along the desk near a journal bound in red leather jacket. And Rictavio says, welcome, my friends. This is your friend is feeling much better now. I was able to tend to his wounds, and he and I have been talking quite a bit. It sounds like you guys have had quite the adventure.
Indeed we have. In fact, we're tasked with proving his innocence now.
And Mr. Jeeves says, yeah, if I could just... I would like to do a great Mark British impression right now, but despite my heritage, I probably can't pull it off. And I don't want to insult Mark. But he tells you in a very British accent about how, for the moment, he feels like sticking around the tavern while he's shackled is what he'd prefer to do, and he'll catch up with you later after he rests a bit more. Out of character, Mark's not here yet, so he's going to stay behind and let you guys do all the hard work of figuring out who stole the bones, and he'll wish you the best. Please save his life, because he's not here to do it himself tonight.
It'll keep you out of trouble, old friend. We'll do what we can.
Yes, and then he says some quirky thing about Ezek Strozny and how he doesn't like him, to say the least.
Alas, I haven't the foggiest on where we should begin our search. What do you suggest?
Rictavio excuses himself and says, "My friends, if you don't mind, I must relieve myself." And he kind of walks out the door for a moment, so you're alone.
I don't have many leads. This guy we were just talking with is a curious character. We have not checked his caravan. I have no reason to distrust him, but we haven't actually seen much of this town yet, so I couldn't begin to say where we should look. We should perhaps at least look around the city before we decide something else, I suppose.
Perhaps our best bet is to first search the church where the bones went missing. Maybe there might be a clue there.
Indeed, I agree with that.
Jack, you're there too, right?
Quietly, but yes.
To the church, then?
Aye, to the church.
Okay. Well, Mr. Jeeves kind of follows you. He's going to go and take one of the rooms that you rented. Elias, Alexander, and Jack, please roll a perception check. Ooh, a 22.
Yay.
Alright, when you get on the balcony there, it says the wooden balcony stretches the full length of the tap room, enclosed by a wooden railing carved with raven motifs. Tap room's many lanterns illuminate the rafters and cast ominous shadows. And although you are in clear view of the tavern and its patrons below, Alexandra, you think that one of the walls immediately outside of Rictavio's rooms looks like it may conceal some kind of passageway. But you know that you can't open it without gaining the attention of those below, which can obviously see you. And then further, like halfway down the hallway, or not quite halfway, is one door, and you assume it might lead to maybe another room or the residence of the people who own the place, the Marty Koffs. And then right at the stairs, before you go back down to the tap room, is another door that leads somewhere.
This place is larger on the inside.
Well, on the outside, it looked like a pretty good-sized two-story building. But yeah, it's got enough accommodations there to host a good number of guests.
Maybe we can explore this place further later. I say we get going to the church. The day is wasting.
I agree.
All right. Back to town we go. Okay, so you're currently here. And when you were previously taken to the Burgomaster's mansion, you saw a shop to the left side of the street, and it was Blinsky's Toys. So there's that location as well that I forgot to mention to you earlier as you guys were traveling. But the church, anyone in town could tell you that it was west of, it's on the west side of town. So I will kind of move you guys west, and then you can easily see the church. Might have to adjust your map a little bit. But to the west, you see the church in the distance. And when you come upon it, the slouching centuries-old stone church has a bulging steeple in the back and walls lined with cracked stained glass windows depicting pious saints. A fence of wrought iron encloses a garden of gravestones next to the church. A thin mist creeps among the graves. And you guys can approach the church.
Jack is actually going to go look at the mist and see if it seems to be of the mist of Ravenloft, or if it's just normal mist.
Roll an Arcana check. Although it is raining, and it's odd to see mist persist through the beating rain, it just looks like just a thin mist that is a little bit more persistent here, as if a cloud had settled on the ground. And you do recall, when you encountered the mist on your way into Barovia, that it had a swirling mass of, like, faces, and it was definitely unnatural. So, although your Arcana skill check wasn't great, you can tell that this mist isn't at least full of faces.
Looking for more ghouls, Jack.
Not precisely.
All right, so we'll knock at the church.
Sure. You knock at the church, and the church is open, so the door is unlocked. But if you wait for someone to answer, eventually a priest, a young man, not quite so young, but not an old man like Father Donovich, comes to the door and opens the door and says, "Oh, visitors from out of town. Welcome, welcome. Come in."
Thank you, brother. I am Elias Asher. I am of the cloth myself. I heard that recently you had the bones of a saint stolen from you. We were hoping that maybe we could find out more about this.
"Oh, yes. Please come to my office to discuss such things in case someone overhears us." And when he says that, he looks over to this youth. He looks like to be an older teenager. And the kid has a shovel in his hand, and it looks like he's just angry about something, kind of keeping to himself in the corner. Outside, it looks like he's just kind of escaped the rain, or he may be putting the shovel to use in the cemetery. So the priest introduces himself as Father Lucian. He says, "I'm Lucian Petrovich. You may have met the Baroness. She is my sister."
Oh, yes, we have.
And then he brings you to a small office. It's got enough chairs for the three of you. And he sits down behind a desk that has a Holy Bible on it. And he runs his fingers through his hair and says, "Well, the word is out now. It seems everyone knows that the church is no longer protected by the sacred bones. Saint Andrel is who this church is founded on. This Saint Andrel's bones is what made this place holy and safe. But without them, we are unprotected."
Have there been any visitors by recently inquiring about them?
"No, I don't really speak about the bones that often. It's strange that it got out into town as rumor."
Where were they kept?
"That's the thing. It's very hard to get to them. They were buried beneath the floorboards in a crypt below the church. The only way to access them was from inside. And even then, you'd have to pry up the boards, which I replaced. I knew they were stolen. I replaced the boards, but someone had pried them up, dug down to the crypt, and stole the bones then.
How many people besides you know where they are?
Well, the only person that knows that I had ever told was a young boy. You may have seen him on the way in. His name is Yeska. He's a very young orphan, around 8 years old. So you know that he's not talking about the angry-looking older teen. And he says,
It's not the fat child, right?
no. It's not the fat child, just out of character, I'll tell you that. The fat child probably wouldn't hang around the church very much.
Probably not.
Unless it was to throw rocks at it.
Yeah, no kidding. Not to fat shame children, sorry. But
Yeah.
anyways, he says, Yeska, my altar boy, is an orphan, and he was very concerned about the evils of the lands of Barovia, and I told him a few months ago that he has nothing to fear, that this place is consecrated holy ground thanks to the bones of St. Markovia that's buried below the church. He's the only person that I've ever told, but this little boy is too young to have done this himself.
Yes, unless someone pressed the information out of him, which is possible. Where is he now?
I can call him if you wish.
Does he know what has happened?
No, I don't believe so. And
Well, I
if
would
he-
hate to tell him if you wouldn't want him to know.
If it would mean the return of the bones somehow, then do what you must.
The child may have answers that we do not have yet. It would be good to question him.
I hope that you can find them. We desperately need them back.
I hope we can find them too. My friend was falsely accused of stealing them. We need to prove his innocence.
Indeed.
And just out of character, the last time you saw the bones, Isaac had them. He had confiscated them
Oh yeah,
from
I forgot
Henrik.
about that.
So yes, could you call for the boy then?
Yes. May I be present when you speak to him?
Of course.
Thank you. And he gets up from behind his desk, exits the door, and shortly afterwards comes back with a young boy and says, Yeska, these people are here to help. You haven't done anything wrong, child. You're safe and among friends. These people want to ask you some questions. They're my friends. It's okay to talk to them. And the boy
Thank
looks
you,
shy,
Father.
but you have his attention.
Yes, thank you, Father. Hello, young one. I'm a priest myself. My name is Elias Asher, and this is my partner, Alexandra Belmont. We are new here to town, but we have come upon a problem. I believe the Father here has told you about the bones that were buried under the church, which sanctify this place. Someone has taken them. Would you have by chance spoken to anyone of them?
And everyone roll an insight check.
Oh god, the little bastard's gonna lie to us, isn't he?
The little orphan bastard. Ooh, Alexandra, nice. Mr. Jack Motley. You might want to just leave that up to Alexandra. Because
he didn't
you
roll
can
yet.
tell. Well, even with
This
your
is
roll,
wisdom.
you can tell that the boy seems nervous, and he says, "I don't want to get anyone in trouble."
We're not here to get anyone into trouble, child. We're just trying to find out the truth, that's all.
Roll a persuasion check.
I'll roll it with her.
Okay, well, she got advantage then. Alexandra, roll
Okay.
roll again. He says, I'm not gonna rat on my friends.
Young one, I know that you are a helper here. You're an altar boy, and you understand the importance and the power of the relics of the saints. I know you want your friends to respect you, but the power of this holy place, protecting the civilians and the believers, is of course a higher calling and more important. We need to find out the truth of these things and see what trouble is brewing in this town to solve this mystery. Also, our own friend here, well, she's not with us currently, he is accused of stealing these bones, which we know he did not. And to clear his name and to keep him from being executed, we need your help to find out what happened.
And there's more to it than that. Unless we find out who else knows of these bones, there's no way we can prevent them from being stolen again in the future.
That's true as well. So can I use my persuasion now?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. With that great explanation and roll, the boy looks up at Father Lucian and he motions him to come closer, and you see him cup a hand around Father Lucian's ear and whisper something. And Father Lucian hugs the boy and says, "You can go now. Thank you." And Yeska leaves immediately, and Father Lucian closes the door behind him and says, "It is as I suspected. There is a very troubled young man that I feared may have been behind this. One of Yeska's only friends is Milov, and Milov does what he can to take care of his brothers. The boy is very confrontational. That's why I've not talked to him about this. I fear he would lie to me anyway, even if I was to approach him. But the one that helps out, that digs the graves, I think that with what Yeska just told me, he must be the one that stole the bones. He's just a boy.
How old is this boy?
He's 18.
Do you think he would have given them to the coffin maker?
I don't know why he would do such a thing, but you must understand that if Izek Strozny thinks that that boy stole the bones, he will kill him.
Yes, I'm aware of that. That's quite distressing. There must be some other way to resolve this then. I imagine he must have done it for money to help feed his family, correct?
Yes, he has little brothers. He'll do anything to protect them.
What do you make of this, Alexandra?
The coffin maker may have threatened him. After all, he was being coerced by vampires himself.
Yes, I think that the blame should rest solely on the coffin maker himself, who has already been executed. If there's some way we can frame this on him completely, which he is at fault in this, and I think it is righteous to do so. Perhaps with your persuasive power and what we know now, we could clear Jeeves' name with this information.
I fear it may not be just that easy, but I will try.
Well, for all that the big man knows, Coffin Maker was the only one involved.
True enough, but if we name this boy an implication, he may turn his wrath on him instead, and I don't want to see anyone innocent hurt.
Yes, I intend to not mention the boy at all. But if it comes to it, we'll do what we can to divert attention away from him.
Lucian
And what
says,
if the boy is guilty?
Izek is going to want to know who stole those bones. He's going to want to know a name.
Exactly.
So if Henrik has already been killed, as you've just said, I don't know what to say. I don't want the boy harmed. But he's very confrontational.
As far as I'm concerned, Henrik did steal the bones, just through the agent of someone else.
Perhaps we should go check Henrik's shop and make sure. Maybe there's some sort of evidence there that he framed the boy.
Maybe there's some incriminating evidence against Henrik there, which I imagine there probably is.
It wouldn't hurt to look, I don't think. And at worst, we can definitely ask Milav.
Alright, let us go to the store then.
Thank you for all of your help, Father Lucian.
Yes, if there's anything I can do, please let me know. Because the burgomaster's wife is my sister, I can be persuasive myself. If that's any help to you in this matter.
Well, I suppose the one thing we could ask you is try to talk to Milav, see if there's any way he would be willing to speak to us. The less confrontational we can get him, the better.
You're asking very much of me. Like I said,
No more than I would ask any one of my compatriots, sir.
Roll a persuasion check. And with that, he says, I will talk to the boy then. Will you be close by, or shall I talk to him privately?
It would probably be best if you spoke to him. He knows more. He's more familiar with you. He knows you. We're strangers here. He may get offensive to that.
Very well then. I will go and talk to him. I'll bring him here to my office and speak with him.
Thank you, Father.
And he opens the door and offers a hand as excusing you from his office. Where would you like to go?
To Henrik's shop.
All right. Henrik's shop is all the way on the east side of town. Anywhere you'd like to go in between here and there? Or just directly to the shop?
I don't have any current detours I need to make.
Okay. You might have to pan the map over there. But you've returned to the coffin maker's shop. The door is unlocked.
Let's head up to his room.
Okay, so the first room that you enter this workshop contains everything a carpenter needs to make coffins and furniture. 3 study work tables stretch the length of the west wall. And there is a couple of doors in this room. One that leads to the junk room that Jeeves saw, and the other, when he looked in through the windows, was a coffin storage area.
Nothing of note on the work tables?
Just tools and stuff that looks like you can make coffins with.
What about the sitting area?
The same. It all looks business in here.
No drawers to explore?
None that produce anything interesting.
Okay, we'll head on then.
Alright, which room would you like to go into? The coffin room or the junk room?
The coffin room.
Alright, arranged haphazardly about the floor of this musty L-shaped room are 13 wooden coffins. What would you like to do now?
Suppose he hid some sort of evidence in one of these, Elias. Shall we pry them open?
All of
It
these
wouldn't hurt,
coffins
okay.
are not nailed shut. They are ready for fresh bodies, so they're easy to open if you'd like to investigate them.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it looks like these are his finished products. And how long would you like to spend investigating them, since there's so many?
Well, there's 13, so 10
Okay.
minutes.
Going through all of them takes about 15 minutes, and you discover that all of them are empty. When you enter this room, you see a door that looks like it might lead to a staircase.
Shall we...
Sorry, you cut out there, Brent.
I was just saying, shall we check the junk room before we go upstairs?
Okay, so Elias goes to the junk room, and a table with 4 chairs in one corner of this room with a lantern hanging from a chain directly above. 2 well-made cabinets stand against the east wall.
So we're gonna investigate the cabinets.
The cabinets are packed with what seems to be worthless items. It looks like Henrik was a bit of a pack rat. Years of things are accumulated here. Nothing of value or anything that would look to be evidence.
Okay, nothing on the table either.
Mm-mm.
Alright, so time to go upstairs then.
Alright, when you go upstairs, you have a choice to go either left or right. You know that going left will go into the room that vampires were kept in, and going right will lead to the kitchen that Jeeves explained was there.
Let's head to the kitchen first. We'll explore there.
Alright. This kitchen contains a square table surrounded by chairs and shelves of provisions. It looks like this is where Henrik prepared his meals.
Are there any cabinets, drawers?
Yes, they all contain things that you could make meals with.
This is maddeningly unhelpful.
Yes, I thought there would at least be something here relating to his keeping of the vampires, but we should keep looking.
Any kind of implication would be better than this. Suppose we shall check that junk room then, with all of the boxes.
The kitchen does contain a door. And that
To his
goes
bedroom.
to his bedroom.
Huh,
Yeah, let's look there first.
I agree.
This modest bed chamber holds a cot and several well-made pieces of furniture, including a table, a padded chair, a bookshelf, and a wardrobe.
What manner of books are these?
Storybooks and carpenter manuals. It looks like they've been handed down generation to generation.
I'll search the wardrobe.
Roll a perception check.
Damn.
Let me go over and do that the same.
Yes, Elias, it's difficult to see in here. There's a lot of cobwebs and dust. Perhaps you can see better than I.
Just a little, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's no better, really.
Jack?
Yes.
Roll a perception check. They're searching the room of Henrik.
Oh.
Damn.
Nothing.
There was a
to
reason I didn't.
So, onward to the coffin storage, or would you like to do something different? I mean, the where you found the vampires.
Let's see.
Can I search beneath the mattress really quick before we leave the room?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a perception.
better.
Nothing under the mattress itself.
Under the bed, then.
Under the bed, you also don't see anything. I'll allow that same perception check. But just D&D wise and searching, when you're searching a room like this and you call out specific areas, that is important.
Beneath the pillow, I suppose.
No, the bed itself and everything under the bed is covered quite nicely. Jack, where are you looking? Anywhere specific?
I'm trying to think it through logically. Where would he spend the most time? What would he,
Well, in this bedroom, there's not a lot of furniture to really look at. There's a chair, a small round table, the bed, the wardrobe.
The bookshelf.
Yeah, and the bookshelf, it only shows storybooks and carpenter's manuals, but your search produces nothing better there.
Suppose we
Take
should
the
move
storybook.
onward, son.
I could not hear both of you at once, I'm sorry.
Take the storybooks.
Okay.
I suppose we should move onward, son.
It seems so.
Alright, when you move to the place where Jeeves uncovered all the vampires, this large drafty room is strung with cobwebs and takes up most of the upper floor. Stacks of wooden planks lie amid several crates marked junk, who are open and earth has burst forth from them. You can tell that this is the scene where Jack saw where he opened one crate, suddenly alerted to an intruder that had discovered one of their kin. All of the vampires in the room had burst forth to attack their intruder.
So look in the crates, see if there's anything else in them.
There's just enough earth in the crate to host a vampire. You get the feeling that these things like to sleep in the earth or within some kind of wooden crate, or maybe perhaps with both.
Jack, you got a good look at the graveyard while we were at the church. Does this dirt seem familiar to you?
Well, I think it would look like dirt to me either way, but sure, I'll take a look.
And indeed, it looks like dirt. Looks like it would make for good potting soil.
Do you have any earthly idea what this could mean?
Here come the puns.
Yeah, it means Heinrich was a dirty motherfucker.
Oh, that has proven to be very true.
Let's
He
investigate.
was a very lonely man.
It's also very true.
A very lonely man that has very little hidden away that we could use against him. I'm surprised there's no at least letters or like evidence of dealings with whoever he was working with.
Only one kind of man has nothing like that, and that's one who has purged his own. Or does so ritualistically. Barring that one who has nothing to hide, and well, this one had something to hide.
We were not able to search his person. Does anyone know if his body is still at the stocks?
I didn't bother to ask when I was speaking to Isaac. I suppose it would be. They haven't had much time to prep or bury him.
That's the only other idea I have.
So, to the stocks?
To the stocks.
Okay. You can close the map of the storehouse there, the coffin maker shop, and you journey to the town square without any wisdom saves needed.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get lost. So, you arrive at the town square and you see the the proclamation for the upcoming Festival of the Blazing Sun. And in the middle of the square is a statue. Looks like maybe the town's founder. And you still see a young boy with a donkey head, a fake donkey head placed on him that is within the stocks. And you see a bagged, hanging on the gallows must be Hendrik, because there's a man there hanging, and he has a bag over his head.
Ask one of the guards if they mind if we cut him down, or if he's supposed to be there.
The guards say, as tasteless as it may seem, we're not to touch the body until nightfall.
So if we wanted to raid through him like desperate grave robbers, we wouldn't be allowed.
Oh no, that's perfectly acceptable. You may desecrate the body as you see fit.
Really? Any way I see fit.
Any way you see fit.
Please don't answer that.
Yeah, the look on look on the guard's face when he says that is, oh God, please don't do anything weird.
Jack reaches for his belt buckle, gives it a shake, and smiles.
Oh God.
Don't worry, he'll have nothing to do with this.
This man was accused of a heinous crime, and his body deserves no honor.
Alexandra simply shakes her head and moves.
Don't
towards
worry,
the
I
gallows.
plan on treating it like the dirtiest of whores.
Well,
Alexandra now gags as she's moving towards the gallows.
understanding, like, maybe, and not wanting to understand the implications, he says, there are children. This is public. There are laws here in this town.
Yes, and he broke them. Isn't that the point?
He just shakes his head.
Alexander, meanwhile, is trying to hold back throes of vomit as she moves towards the body.
Okay, you approach the stiffening body of Henrik.
Not half the stiffening is when I get done with him.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
no.
just stop! It's getting worse.
Elias just looks confused.
Alright, well, Hendrik Vandervoot is available for the looting, if you'd like to look over his corpse.
I'm going to search his breast pocket.
You can search the entire corpse with one fell swoop of a perception check. Alright, you find a little bit of coinage on the man.
Mine.
Yes, yours. Yours for looting the corpse. You're actually surprised that no one has done this before you had the chance to do so. Let me just see here. You find on his person 30 silver pieces and 12 electrum pieces. And all of these coins bear the profiled visage of Strad von Zarovich.
Would it be alright to compare it to the coin we already have?
Yes, all of the coins that you have accumulated since you've come into this town have a profile of Strahd, and it looks like a Strahd in his natural lifetime, not that which persists after his days should have been done.
Is that all that she finds?
Yes, there's nothing else of note other than 30 silver pieces and 12 electrum pieces that you may add to your inventory. What would everyone like to do now?
What did you find, Alexandra? Anything interesting?
Unfortunately, just some coin. Nothing of particular consequence, I'm afraid.
Would you like me to throw that into the
I
parcel?
already put it in.
Okay, good deal.
That is distressing then. Do we check somewhere else or check back with the church and see if we could talk to the child?
Seems we're running into a dead end no matter what we do. If the child won't answer questions, there's nothing more we can do here anyway. I suppose we should head back to Father Lucian and see if Milav is ready to talk.
I've got a stupid idea.
What's that, Jack?
What about the vampires?
They fled the town.
Yes, they did.
We should
And you
try to
think it
find them?
wise to chase them?
No, I said it was a stupid idea. It is a terrible idea, and we probably shouldn't do it, but... Well, I felt it was worth it.
I am curious as to what became of them and if they are together or dispersed, but I am grateful, at least for now, that they have not returned after they were sent away.
Yeah, Elias, you know the effects of your turning have long since worn off. They've definitely regrouped by now.
They didn't
But I fear
seem
that
like
I do
Sorry.
fear that they are terrorizing somewhere else, though. So hopefully we'll be able
Oh,
to-
most assuredly, it's in their nature. That being said,
Not a one amongst them seemed particularly powerful aside individually. Perhaps they were working for Strahd after all.
maybe. But why?
Wouldn't it only make sense to try to infiltrate the town? This town that seems so sure in its barriers.
They were already in here. Unless we caught them at a very specific part in their plan, they were waiting for something.
The child had a shovel, and it seemed like these vampires may be prepped for travel to Barovia, though. So I don't think the child would be trying to bury them in the church cemetery. I don't know. We need more information to say for sure what's going on here.
I don't suppose you're powerful enough to speak with Heinrich's spirit, are you, Elias?
I have never tried, my friend, but I really doubt I would be able to do that.
Well, with no other recourse, I suggest we go speak to Milav himself if he's willing to talk.
Indeed, I don't expect that he will. It sounds like he will be quite stubborn and not give us any information, but maybe something will be helpful. Alright, let's go back then.
Okay. You return to the west end of town, and when you get in, you head to the church, and Father Lucian greets you at the doorstep with a very worried, concerned look on his face, and a fresh cut on his forehead that looks very badly bruised.
Did the child do this to you?
Yes, I thought he might be confrontational about this.
Father, what happened? What was said?
I asked him about if Yeska had told him about the bones, and he got very defensive. He said that if I knew better, I would keep my mouth shut about everything. And when I persisted that I thought that he stole the bones, he got physical.
This doesn't seem like the behavior of an innocent child.
I don't believe he's innocent. I do believe he stole the bones, but I do believe that he's afraid and that he knows the consequences of stealing the bones means he will die, and what that means to his family, they will have no one to look after them.
Did you get to say as much to him before he attacked you?
Yes, but talking to the boy is not my strong suit, or I would have done it sooner.
Well, let me try, Father, and we'll see how it goes.
And he nods and he motions out to the rain. He points out in the cemetery, and it looks like the boy is just shoveling dirt, wet dirt, mud, angrily, as if there's just he's waiting for someone to fill the hole that he's digging.
Okay, so this is going to be hard, but Elias approaches rather quietly. He says, young man, hello there. May I speak with you?
He doesn't answer you. He just digs harder.
Okay. I'm sorry to address you like this, but I know of what has happened. I know what's going on in the town here, and things have taken a turn for the worse, and our friends are involved, and I have quite a vested interest in resolving this case. Now, I know you don't want to cooperate with me, but I'm willing to give you 20 pieces of gold if you will help us.
Roll a persuasion.
Oh.
He says, "You're here to kill me. I know you are."
No, we're not here to kill you. Of course, you know that Ezek may kill you if he finds out what has happened, but that is not our desire. We intend to put the blame entirely on the coffin maker.
It's one and the same, isn't it?
Not
Perhaps,
if you speak the truth.
Your words could kill me just as easy as it can.
I know you did what you did for money, my friend, and we can provide some of that for you, for your family, if you just tell us what's behind all of this. Why did this happen?
He just continues to shovel dirt.
Perhaps we should go fetch Ezek now and see what he has to say.
Roll for
Alexander,
initiative.
Elias.
No initiative yet, right?
No, as soon as he heard her say that, he became hostile.
Shit.
Little bastard.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you can't still talk to them.
Yeah, I know.
That persuasion is to calm him down and tell him that both of them are stupid, they don't know what they're talking about, and that I want to talk.
The boy lifts his shovel up like he's ready to fight. And he says, "The only talking around here is going to get me killed."
That's not true, and you know it. All you have to do is tell us exactly what happened. We will go to Ezek and tell him the truth. If it lays
Leave
the blame
Ezek out of this. It's clear this boy is terrified of the authorities.
And he's looking back and forth between Alexandra and Jack. He doesn't know what to do.
Calm down, boy. Trust me. No one here is going to go to Ezek. We are not his biggest fans. We're not his fans of the Burgomaster or most people we've met so far in this land.
My boy, I'm sure you can tell I'm a priest myself. It is my wish that no one would die. Certainly no one else that we've already seen. We've already seen so much death since we came to this town. You've probably heard of the vampires as well. Now, all we seek to do is resolve this matter and that no one may be hurt. One man has already been fallen. One man has already died for this crime, and that is likely all that's necessary.
I didn't know about no vampires.
I believe you.
No one said you did. We just want the truth, that's all.
The truth is Henrik's dead and I'm likely next.
Not
Not
if
if
you
we
tell
have
us what
any
happened. We can
faith.
protect you.
The only way you can protect me is to get me out of here. And I've got my family to look after.
Why do you say that? Getting you out of here is possible. Protecting your family is possible. But you have to explain things. It could be that there is something you haven't thought of. Believe me, we are old hats at this.
Well, you're right about the money. I was offered money to find out about what the defenses the church had.
Who offered it to you? Henrik?
Yes, Henrik did, but I can tell that he didn't want to. He was being manipulated, just like I am.
Supernaturally or with words.
His life was in danger, and I need the money.
It's alright, it's all understandable.
Well, explain to me how I can get out of this with my life.
The only evidence against you right now, Heinrich is dead, is the priest himself. If we can convince the priest that you had nothing to do with it, then you're safe.
There's no
Yes.
the priest knows I'm guilty.
The priest knows you're guilty, but he cares about you. Whether you believe it or not, he has quite the interest in keeping you safe. And we do as well. No one has anything against you. No one alive. So there's no reason to raise suspicion on you.
As I said, you can be safe, but you need a cover. We need to be able to craft one. Look at Alexandra and Elias, then correct myself. I need to be able to craft one.
Alright, I'm listening. What do you got?
Well, first of all, we need to know everything you know. And then we go from there.
Henrik came to me a few days ago. He said that he wanted to know what defenses the church had against the evils of the land, about if it was truly safe. And I said that Yeska had told me that it was protected by the sacred bones of a saint. He asked me if I knew where they were, and I said that I could find them for the right price, so I did.
Whose grave are you digging?
Judging by what I'd said, I'd guess his own.
Yeah.
He seems the kind of youth who might do that at this point.
I'm not leaving Vallaki. If I die here, I die here. I've got to look after my little brothers.
It's very noble. It's a very grown-up thing to do. People make mistakes. It will be okay. We will help you.
The look on his face just shows defeat. He stabs his shovel into the earth next to him.
Is there anything else? Anything you haven't told us yet?
Only that if I die, my brothers will starve to death.
We wouldn't let that happen.
Well, you best be careful about what you say to Isaac Strozny then.
As far as I'm concerned, your name never needs to come up to Izek Strozny. As I said, if we can convince the priest that you either had nothing to do with it or had nothing to do with it, then that's where it ends, with the priest. Izek does not seem to be greatly liked. He is greatly feared. There is a difference.
He's definitely not well liked.
Unless the priest is somehow the only person in town who actually likes to be around Izek, which I doubt, then this should be relatively simple.
His bitch of a sister is the mayor's wife. They house the damn beast, so what do I know about how close he is with Isaac Strozny?
They house the beast for the same reason anyone houses an attack dog. It's useful for an end. The mayor may be insane, Burgomaster might be insane, but he's not a fool. I am.
Yeah, all is well my ass.
Mark's on his way.
Alright.
Never mind.
Relax.
Never mind. Not gonna log in. He's too tired.
Aww.
It'll be okay. You just have to calm down.
So what am I to do now?
Go about your life as normal. If anything else is required, I will come ask it of you. As far as I'm concerned, if you've told us the truth, That's what my insight check was for, but it was terrible. If you've told us the truth, then you have nothing to fear. Is there anything else?
He thinks for a minute. Says, whatever you do, don't mention that Yeska, not to anybody. Don't mention ever that Yeska told me anything. You can't. That's the only detail I haven't covered.
You have my word. His name will never come up.
You're just a human, after all.
And I'm going to stop the music here because we were at the end of this soundtrack.
Yeah.
And this would be a good time to take a little break. So let's have a little break. Everyone good for that? Little intermission?
Okay.
Sure.
All right. I'll be right back.
I'm going to have to leave here in about 10-15 minutes, but I'll be on Discord again.
I'll be back sooner than later.
Okay. Just saying, I'll be on Discord, but away from my computer.
I think I hear a microwave.
Yeah, you did. Wow, that's impressive. It's like way across the room.
I heard the beeping.
Yeah, I hadn't ate dinner yet, so I'm gonna heat up some pizza.
That's what I had for dinner.
As well as some jerky, right?
Gotta love that wall meat.
All right, we all here?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. DM's favorite question. What do you guys want to do now? It looks like Milav is heading back to the church.
As he's leaving, Elias stops him, and he hands them the same amount of gold he had promised from before into his hand if he'll take it.
What amount of gold is that?
20 pieces, and if he takes it, Elias will say, please use this to take care of your family. I know the struggle of dealing with such.
His expression changes from his frustrated and furrowed brow to one of wide-eyed amazement. You can tell that this is like winning the lottery for this kid. He says, I'm a dead man anyway. You might as well keep your money. And he...
How many brothers do you have?
I've got 3 brothers.
Give him 6 more gold pieces.
You don't understand. I've
I've
sinned against God. I've attacked a priest for this.
Yes.
I
And
stole
we're
the
about to
bones
go
of
make
a saint.
okay.
I
Have you ever
deserve
heard
whatever's
the word
coming to me.
redemption? It's a great big word, but it means forgiveness, and it's open to everyone. Although if you have to talk more about that, that's more my friend here. I fully admit that I sin gleefully and gladly almost every day.
If I see the morning, give it to me then.
Fair enough, then. We will do our best to make sure that happens.
And with that, he starts walking off to the church. Clearly shaken. At least his shovel is still in the ground.
Well, at least maybe he likes us a little more now.
Perhaps.
He's just too defeated to really show much else, I guess.
Well, for a man that was digging his own grave to being offered more money than he's ever seen in his life. Alright, like I said, DM's favorite question. What are you going to do now?
Well, sooner or later we're going to have to tell Isaac something. I'm not a big fan of lying, but I don't see...
I am.
Yeah, I know you're a master of that, so I'm not sure what else we could even do.
So you're going to go talk to Isaac now?
No, we talked to the priest, and then we mentioned nothing of Milov to, Isaac.
Jack, I hope your gilded tongue is around for at least 10 more minutes.
Gilded tongue, my ass. It hasn't been working out great for you so far.
You just went from a roll initiative to not roll initiative, so... Regardless, which location are you headed to now? You're standing in the rain in a graveyard.
Inside to speak with Father Lucian, I suppose.
Alright, when you go into the church, you see in plain sight, no matter who else is around, Milov on his knees, begging forgiveness from Father Lucian. And Father Lucian is comforting him, and he says that he'll pray with him.
Give them a moment to do that.
Alright. And, okay. Well, once you give them a moment, they both approach the altar at the front of the church. They both kneel down on their knees and prostrate themselves in prayer. And after a moment or two, they arise, and Lucian clasps him on the shoulder. Milov sits on the front pew, and Father Lucian approaches you.
Elias looks pleased.
Alright. He says, "So what next? The fate of this boy lies in your hands, and what you have to say next."
We have to figure out what we are to tell Isaac and the Bargamaster.
Do you have any ideas, Father? You know we do not want to lie, but we also do not want this young boy to die.
All I have prayed for is guidance, that God will give you the wisdom that you seek.
Probably the best course. I will do the same. Do you know any more about this Isaac you could tell us?
No, he's just the strong arm of the law in this town.
He does not seem to be a particularly good or godly man. Has he ever been in the church?
No, he's never shown his face here.
Judging by the burgomaster, I'm guessing it's somebody he found who is loyal to him, probably a former mercenary or adventurer, judging by his arm.
Yes. Do you know anything of his arm, speaking of?
Rumor has it that he was attacked as a young boy by wolves outside the walls, and they ripped his arm off. Somehow he survived, and then, as far as all of us know, he just woke up one day from a drunken stupor and had that arm.
Well, he's most certainly a dead man. He just doesn't know it yet.
I wish death
Yes.
on none of my enemies, but peaceful resolutions for whatever God can offer.
Yes, I agree. I'm not in favor of anyone losing their life, but
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's already sold his soul. Chances are that's a deal with the devil, and you don't do that if you can avoid it. Perhaps not the devil, but certainly a devil.
a devil named Strahd, perhaps.
And when you say
When you
Strahd,
say Strahd,
he crosses himself.
doesn't seem like, well, actually, I don't know that much about him. I guess it could be, but it doesn't seem very vampiric. I'm guessing something in a more downwards direction. But I don't know.
Yes, indeed. One solution I could see from this, unfortunately, is us removing this Izek from power in a forceful manner. But of course, that may turn the town against us in general. So,
Roll a perception check.
okay.
All of us?
Yes.
18.
I have a question
Out of character or in character?
for the priest.
Oh, go ahead.
What are you to do with Milov now?
Milov is to continue his work here in the church.
What do you think happened as far as Milov is concerned?
The boy says he's sorry. I'm not sure exactly what happened. He didn't tell me what he told you. But whatever you said to him sent him on an unexpected path of non-confrontation.
He found what the word redemption meant. He has done something wrong, not nearly as wrong as he would be punished and blamed for. But he did a small wrong that he will regret the rest of his life. Personally, I think his penance should be served as it is. I don't think he needs anything else for it, do you?
Well, I am all for forgiveness, of course, yes, but it's not just he who may answer for his sins. Without those bones, we are very vulnerable.
Izek himself has them. They confiscated them from the coffin maker's house.
Oh, praise God. Why hasn't he not brought them to me now? When night falls, we are extremely vulnerable.
We shall see to it that this happens, for certain, my friend. So that perception check, what did that get us, Mike?
Nothing. When you inform him where the bones are, he says, "I'm sorry, my friends. Thank you for what you have done here, but I cannot leave it to anyone else. I must secure these bones immediately myself." And he begins walking to the front door, obviously on his way to the mansion of the burgomaster.
Hold, priest.
Should we not accompany you?
You may accompany me if you wish, but I must get those bones back here immediately.
Block his way.
Okay, you block his way, and he stops.
I want your word that you will not mention me love to Izek.
I'm sorry you
Or
cut out there.
Yeska?
What'd you say, Mike?
I couldn't hear what Jack said.
I want your word that you will not mention Milov to Izek.
Or Yeska, for that matter.
The only thing
Indeed.
I plan on saying is that these fine guests have told me that you have become in possession of the bones of St. Andrew, and I immediately need to bring them back to the church. That's the only thing that I wish to say.
On your word as a man of God, you will say nothing of Milov, please.
On my word, and please let me go.
Let him go, Jack.
We should all go.
Yep, and he does not walk. He is briskly trying to make his way, as if more than his life depends on it. So if you are following him to the Burgomaster's mansion, you arrive there shortly. The trek in the town through the rain is short. It's not a very large town. Before you meet once again with the mansion that is Vargas Valakovich's homestead. On the way there, you pass once again Blinsky's toy shop. And rapping on the door, Father Lucien waits for a moment, and his sister answers the door and says, "Oh, brother, it's such great pleasure to see you here." And he says, "I must speak with Isaac Strozny immediately." And she says, Of course, I'll fetch him for you, dear." And shortly, she arrives back at the front door with Isaac Strozny, who leers at Alexandra lustfully, and
God.
among the rest of you kind of doesn't even acknowledge your presence. He says, "Yes, what is it?" And Father Lucien explains, "These fine guests have told me that you have the bones of St. Andrew. Please, I need them immediately." And he says, "Oh yes, I was to have a guard deliver them to you soon. My apologies, I will fetch them for you." And he disappears for a moment and then returns with a sack and hands it to Father Lucien. Father Lucien does not bother with departing on any kind of polite farewells. He just immediately begins trotting back to his church, leaving you all there in the presence of the captain of the guard.
Well, that was a little rude.
Well, he does what he has to. I understand his need.
A manner of thanks for a man of God, I guess.
Please, my dear, don't speak ill of the mistress's brother. That is rude. Are you here to visit? Would you like to come in?
Actually, we did come to inform you that we can prove my friend's innocence.
In that case, I insist you enter the mansion. And he invites you inside. The familiar abode of the Valakoviches. You find yourself once again in the presence of Baron Vargas Valakovich and Isaac Strozny in the den.
And once again, Alexandra is wanting nothing more than to climb out that damn window.
Vargas greets you all. "Ah, my friends, welcome back. You have completed the investigation."
Good afternoon, Baron. Indeed we have.
He bows and smiles appreciatively at Jack.
Jack smiles widely and bows back very deeply, very elaborately.
What good news do you bring to me?
We bring the news of a man's innocence and that the bones will be returned to the church. It's only been a few hours.
Yes, quite an eventful day, but I'm very proud of our new hero guests. It'll be very nice to show you to the rest of the town and have them appreciate your heroism.
I personally would prefer to avoid that, though my friends are very heroic. I really am just a humble figure.
Well, please bring me what news you have. Who is the thief of these bones?
As near as we can tell, actually, instead of that, he will let Alexandra try.
Oh, Lord. Gilded tongue. All right, there he goes. It's up to Alexandra.
Yeah.
It's not up to Alexandra. He wants her to give it a go. Anyway, I'm transferring.
I'm not saying anything about her tongue. I'm gonna let that one go.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay.
Although I'm sure Izek could have several things to say.
Lord. Okay.
Wow.
Bravo. See, now puns, they can't compare to this.
The puns are the best.
All right, Alexandra, please inform Vargas Volakovich of the innocence of Jeeves.
From what we've discovered, it was none other than Heinrich himself solely to blame for the entirety of the situation.
Yes, as you have previously explained to me, but what proof have you?
He was the one mulling around the church, trying to discover the location of the bones.
Evidence, my dear.
We were told by the priest himself.
The priest that Izek informs me just ran from my mansion.
In his haste to return the bones to their rightful resting place, yes.
He exclaims that Henrik stole these bones. How? Explain to me the process.
Henrik himself was under the influence of vampires, most likely under Strahd's control at the time.
Fearing for his life?
More than likely.
Or did he seek eternal life?
Without having spoken to Henrik before Izek so willfully slain him, it's difficult to say, but it could have been either.
Either way, I do agree there is a motive, but I must understand completely why you think that it is Henrik that stole the bones as opposed to those that he accused.
Oh, it's absolutely Heinrich. His hands were the ones that took the bones.
And what evidence have you?
By the fact that you'll find no trace of my butler's fingerprints or anything that belongs to him anywhere near those bones.
They have no idea what fingerprints are.
And of course, the bones themselves were in Henrik's house.
Yes, and as I understand it, Henrik accused your friend of bringing them there.
Yes, Henrik did not want you to kill him, which you did anyway.
I killed no one.
As I stated,
No,
Baron,
the law killed Henrik, as is just and noble in a city of some repute. But
As
I
I-
suspect more at play here than simple fear.
As do
Truth
I.
be told, I suspect domination.
As I stated, Baron, this is the first time myself and my companions have ever been to this town. It is mere coincidence.
Alexandra, with all due respect, he's moved on from Jeeves. He doesn't think Jeeves actually did it anymore. He's just curious if we can produce evidence to ensure that Heinrich is truly the one. He wants the culprit, whether or not it's Jeeves, and he doesn't believe it's Jeeves, but he's perfectly willing to hold Jeeves hostage to help us get his way.
You assume much, my intelligent friend, but the simple truth is that Henrik had no reason to name anyone in this except himself. Isaac says that he went to his grave accusing this man. Do you not admit that that is worth at least something?
Oh, it's absolutely worth an investigation, which you've now done.
The dying words of a coward.
He only wished to save himself.
And as I said, domination.
How could he save himself by blaming another? If he knew that his life was already on the line. Isaac said that he had a chance to confess the truth right before he died, and I have no doubt in my body that any threat of death from Isaac would be taken lightly.
Oh no, he absolutely knew he was going to die.
Then why, on his dying breaths, would he still accuse someone else?
Confusion. A house divided cannot stand. If you're busy looking for another culprit where none exists, then you're less busy looking at him and for reasons he did it. His benefactors.
And if
Malefactors.
perhaps it was that he was under Strahd's control, or the control of the vampires serving Strahd, it would stand to reason that they would try to break us up and destroy one of our compatriots before we had the chance to take on Strahd himself.
I'm pretty sure Strahd doesn't even know we exist. I'm not going that far. I'm saying confusion as far as Vallaki. It surely represents a thorn in his side, a mighty walled city like this, something noble that has a chance of actually pushing back the darkness. You can imagine that with something like Strahd, that would just stick in his vampiric craw.
And there is your motive for stealing the bones, to remove the defenses of the town, one piece by piece.
Yes, I have no doubt in my body that Strahd would wish this town to be destroyed from the inside out. It doesn't quite make sense to me that Henrik would lay on this until his dying breath, though. It does carry weight, and I was hoping that you would bring to me more substantial evidence.
We're not finished looking, but we think this proves that our compatriot should be able to join us at this point. He has skills we can use. Nothing untoward the city, mind you.
Isaac has informed me of his decision to allow him to assist you in this investigation, and yet I do not see him here.
Yes, he was... Go ahead.
Delicate constitution.
No, by all
He's
means.
resting from the day's events. Poor dear is a bit old.
And he was the only one actually assaulted by the vampires. And speaking of, I would assure you that that is the largest evidence that we have, is in plain sight, those 6 vampires that were in Henrik's shop, along with the bones.
The fact that they only attacked him is the only reason that I don't suspect all of you in this. Perhaps he double-crossed them, but them attacking only him only makes Henrik's claims stronger.
He was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, Baron. He awoke them. It stands to reason that they would attack him.
Actually, I would go so far as to say that he was the one standing nearest to them and they were blood-starved. As I said, I suspect them to be saboteurs with a deadly motive. They'd likely been fasting so that they would not raise suspicion and alert the city that they were within the walls.
I'm going to roll a persuasion check for Jack.
Please do.
Ooh, I suck at rolling. I'm sorry. I only rolled a 10.
Alexandra, meanwhile, just rolls her eyes and crosses her arms and turns toward the window.
Elias, what about you? Did you have anything to add to what Jax had to say?
Let's see. Yeah, I had it just a minute ago. Give me a second.
Take your time. This is important.
Yes, Burgermeister, my friend, and you mustn't forget also that we as a party caused these vampires to flee your great town as well. So we have kept the peace, and all is well. All is well, thanks to our efforts. The vampires have fled. So clearly, we mean you no harm. We had no motive to steal the bones ourselves, of course. And I think the largest evidence has already been found.
All right. Since Logan is indisposed at the moment, normally I would let this be an assisted persuasion check, but instead of Logan rolling again with his awesome +4 to persuasion, I will allow Elias to roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Although it's a +3, is also not very good. Elias rolled an 8 for those that cannot see at the moment. Let's see here. The Baron wants evidence, and you guys have produced the same thing you brought to him originally.
Now, I will say that it is quite interesting what we have found at Henrik's house, which is a bunch of nothing, which is interesting. It seems that he was quite methodical in cleaning out any evidence he had there, which is itself raising suspicion because he had 6 vampires in his house.
What evidence do we need other than he was harboring vampires? They were either, as you said, threatening his life or offering him eternal life. I do
Or
agree
dominating
that
his will
has...
entirely.
Yes, I do agree that he had motive. What I do not agree with is that he would name a man guilty as he's meeting his maker.
Well, what you require is physical, tangible evidence, and the only man who could do that is dead. As I said, our investigation is not yet concluded. This is what we've found so far. We did not choose to come and see you, Burgomaster. We came with the priest.
Ah, I see. Well, But you
This is merely
used
a
my
status
time to
update.
try and convince me otherwise. I have a proposition.
I have ears for a proposition. In my head, I'm thinking, again, deal with the devil, but, you know.
Dealing with the devil is the last thing this town will ever do, my dear Jack. But understand that this town has other enemies, and if you agree to eliminate them for me, then I will oversee the protocol of eliminating any chance, such as your friend here, is a chance to corrupt our city.
Well, sire, as I told you before, I was willing to consider, and I will, in fact, take that job. But in my time in your city, I have found things that I would need your aid with, which we can discuss privately. My compatriots here are noble, wonderful people. But as you can see, this one's got a poker face like a dying dog, and this one's not much better.
Excuse you?
I must say that
I'm
if you...
sorry, are you saying you're a better liar than I am, Alexandra?
No, because I make it a point not to lie.
Precisely what I just said. Now, as you can see, Burgomaster, she's not very skilled in the arts you require, and proud of it.
And with that, she storms out of the room.
All right, Alexandra marches off.
Wait until I think she's out of earshot, look at the burgomaster, shake my head. Children. She thought that an insult.
Listen,
What you ask is dirty business, and she's used to keeping her hands clean, saving grave dust.
I'm only interested in results.
As any bright man would be.
Who is your enemy, my friend?
That is none of your concern.
Shall I leave you to be?
Yes, privacy is required. Thank you, sir.
All right, I'll excuse myself then.
Please go comfort Alexander. Explain I meant no insult. In fact, it was a compliment.
I'd rather fight a vampire, but all right.
Okay. Elias exits the room and closes the door behind him, leaving Jack and the burgomaster alone in their conversation.
In my short time in your village, I've found... Jack would remember the name of the enemy family.
Yes, the Watchers.
Good, I was thinking Hunters, but I was thinking that was it.
No, it's the...
I have done some slight casing, and I've found... Well, so far I've found very little, but I have found a potential lead in the forest, which I may need aid with.
You've found a potential lead in what forest that has to do with the Watchers?
I've found someone who was seen communing with them. At this point, it would be deception, because I am pulling this out of my ass.
Okay, that's fine. I can roll for Jack's deception. One moment. Your deception is at a +6. Well done. Alright, so here's crossing the fingers for my roll, which have been shit for tonight. Oh my god, I rolled a 1.
Whoa.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, buddy. You should be here. Also, just out of character, if I hear you fucking die on the road because you're talking to me on Discord, it will haunt me for the rest of my fucking life, okay? Don't wreck while you're talking to me, alright? Okay, with that said, yes,
Don't worry.
I rolled a 1. And I'm sorry, buddy, but Vargas says, I am only interested in what happens inside this town, where my enemies harbor against me. I require services sooner rather than later.
And you'll have them. As a matter of fact, as I said, you already do. I've started.
Then all I require are results, and I will overlook whatever suspicion is cast upon your friend. Although he must never take residence here, and only be a guest. And
I don't think
upon
that's much,
our next festival, he will not be named as a guest of honor such as you three.
I really would prefer you only name those two as guests of honor. I work better alone in the shadows.
I can see the wisdom in your counsel, and I agree. Your friend Elias seems to be the most heroic of the bunch. What of a man of God is he? I highly encourage that he takes residence here. There are many abandoned places. I could set up a place for him to stay permanently.
I think you may get him a room of which he may make use, as I don't think he has any plans on settling down for some time yet. However, he is a goddamn crusader. He would go into hell itself for a mewling child.
I can understand. These are traits I admire in a hero.
Which is exactly why you should not name me among them. I'm smarter than that.
Very well, then. I will instruct Ezek to release your friend from his manacles.
Now then,
Yes,
This
to the
lead
point
that I
of
spoke of-
business. The Watcher family has long regarded me their enemy, and they have coveted our place here as burgomaster. My baroness would not be replaced by Lady Watcher. I would never see that in my lifetime. And you must promise me that, by whatever means necessary, you eliminate any chance of her ever taking control of this city.
I assume you want this done quietly, without undue suspicion.
I have no doubt that you would do it that way regardless of my opinion.
As I said, I am smarter than that, so yes. Now, this lead that I spoke of, I won't speak of it again for now, but it is one that I will require help to follow up on because it is worth it, I think, as now. I will bring to you why soon, when I've had more than a few hours and absolutely no sleep.
Well, I will be more open to whatever you have to say after I see some results. But I have no doubt that you will assist
course.
me. I have witnessed firsthand your ability at deception, getting close to the Watchers and taking them out from within should be your speciality.
It is. But that does bring up an interesting question. What guarantee do you have, Burgomaster, that I won't ally myself against you?
I have no such guarantee, and your mention of such does not set well with me.
I am curious, because it's not often that I meet a man clever enough to see through deceptions.
You
It's a matter
interested
of
me
keeping
because
one
you
thing.
set yourself as a sacrifice to save your friend's life, only with a motive to save another town not too far from here, to consecrate their church with the bones of a saint. To me, this sounded very noble, and if you are not a noble man, then perhaps I have misjudged you completely.
What is your gut instinct, Burgomaster, since it seems to serve you well so far?
To be quite honest, your neck in a noose.
Stretch my neck out for him.
But I will offer you a chance to not betray me and the trust that I have bestowed you.
Noble is not the word I'd choose. Efficient is. Noble is Elias. Noble is Alexandra. Noble is more Jeeves. I am efficient, and I am loyal.
If you are more loyal to coin than you are to righteousness, then you may leave
As
here
I
with
said, I am
another
not
word
loyal
not
to
spoken.
Coin is not my master. Loyalty is my master. Loyalty is the coin of the realm. To me, Burgomaster.
As I've said, all I am interested in is results, and if you can produce them, then so be it. You may leave.
Thank you, Burgomaster. Follow my compatriot.
All right, and as we have been discussing, there has been a conversation I am unaware of, and I'll read that now in the chat box. Alexandra Belmont turned to Elias as the door closes behind him. I could have told the entire truth, she says. I could have freed Jeeves completely if I hadn't been forced to admit... Or, hey, you're part of this game. You guys go ahead and explain to me the role-playing that went on as Jack and I were talking. You're not NPCs. I don't have to put words in your mouth.
I could have freed Jeeves completely if I hadn't been forced to omit certain details of what we learned. I feel like a damn fool.
It's a situation hard to win at all turns. It is currently in the most capable hands, though. Also, he meant no offense to you, I'm sure you know. All part of his skill at work.
And you're no better. You shamed me into attacking those vampires past my own good sense and exhaustion.
Elias kind of raises his hand to his head as he kind of knew this was coming, and it takes him a moment for him to say anything. Your decisions are your own, of course. I know my tone is forceful and my convictions unusually strong. My words are mostly proclaiming defense of my ideals.
A piss-poor apology at best, Elias, but appreciated nonetheless. We owe that boy nothing. As much as I want to protect him for his own sake and for his own noble ideals for protecting his family, we need to tell the truth. It's the only way to free Jeeves completely. All we can do is hope mercy.
Yes, I see your point, and I'm sorry. I hold all life precious and wish to defend all. But our friend is at danger. If it comes to it, the full truth may be spoken. But for now, it seems we may not have to do that. Let us hear from Jack and see what has happened.
I'm not comfortable bribing the Baron.
And with that, Jack reconvenes with his friends.
Walk past them and just assume they will follow me.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Are you walking past them outside of the mansion?
I'm waiting for them if they have not followed me by the time we're at the entrance.
I'll follow behind him for sure, yeah. We can't talk right outside the door anyway, so...
Alexander scowls, crosses her arms, and follows reluctantly.
Okay, everyone exits the mansion together, and not too far down the road, you see Blinksky's toys. But before you're quite there, you have an opportunity to speak to one another.
That went as well as could be hoped. The man is mad.
Could have
But
gone
that
better.
makes him... The man is mad, but that makes him easily led around by the nose. What he wants, we can give him.
And we wouldn't be forced to go into his servitude if we could just tell the truth.
You are not in his servitude.
And you are?
Unfortunately, as I said a few hours ago, I have whored myself out.
Then let us hope your personal interests in this matter do not conflict with our original goals, Shaq.
Have I ever led you astray before?
You stabbed me and threw me down a flight of stairs. Do you really want me to answer that?
Again, not me, a doppelganger. I was unconscious in the next room.
And who cast the spell, my friend?
I cast no spell. I was doing research.
Jack did release the spell upon the rest of the party from
I
his
cast
curiosity.
no spell.
But you read the forbidden words that led to the doppelganger entering the world.
But he's saying that he didn't.
Okay.
Let
he's
me
saying that he
rephrase.
didn't.
I spoke no words. I spoke no spell.
Well,
Hmm.
out of character, when you're absent and the DM speaks the words for you, you kind of do.
Okay, fine. Roll deception for me.
No. Okay. You say that you didn't do it. That's fine.
That's all in the past, anyway. I know that wasn't you. At least it was not your intention for that to happen. I know you wouldn't hurt us if at all possible.
And I suppose holding out for an apology from either of you is a fruitful effort.
Hmm.
I am sorry if you took offense to my words. They were not meant to be hurtful. He is asking for very specific work to be done.
Which we wouldn't have to do if we could just tell him the truth.
Actually, yes, we would. This work needs completed either way. Would need completed. After the initial problem with Jeeves. I had already agreed to help him before we left his mansion the first time.
And I suppose you volunteered our services as well.
Absolutely not. That's why I said what I said.
What is he having you do?
Political assassination. character assassination.
That's not why we came.
No, it's not. Not precisely. But it is useful. As I said before, the man is mad. But if we can get him in our...
Your mic cut out completely, Logan.
Right. If we can get him, and then you cut out. Damn. The internet doesn't work in cars sometimes. We all know this. So, all right. Until we hear back from Mr. Jack, how would Elias like to respond to not expecting an apology from either of you?
Yes, Alexandra. Again, I explained myself the best I could, and I do offer my apologies to you, but again, I can't betray my calling as a man of God, of course.
Your calling will be the death of us all if it continues that way.
And my calling also heals us and keeps us from dying, so let's be careful with that.
Threatening.
Let's see. Now, if I'm understanding Jack correctly, are you saying that this man's paranoia is actually stronger than his sense of resolving the crime?
I think we lost Logan.
Yeah. That was kind of a rhetorical statement anyway.
Yeah, that's quite obvious at this point.
Yeah, Elias is just figuring that out. So it would seem that taking upon this distraction and doing this work for this man indirectly clears us of suspicion.
Yes, his paranoia has been bended to your gain in this by Jack.
Then I suppose that is the best we could hope for. It is not ideal, as far as I would agree the truth is the most ideal of things to pursue in most situations, but I don't want to see this young boy die and his family starve. A man that is really in the wrong has already perished.
Which we could have explained with the truth.
Which he would not have listened to.
Ah, we have Jack back. Jack is back.
Yeah, we didn't have any evidence still, so I think that Isaac would have stormed out immediately and found the boy.
Regardless, Isaac and Alexandra was having a conversation. Are you back? Are you actually at home now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Welcome fully back then. Alexandra was asking about your bringing in the rest of the crew to fit your motives here and serving the burgomaster.
As I said, no, of course I did not assign your services. That's why I said what I said. He wants specific work done. Work I have been doing for years. Work I did for decades, long before you were born.
Yes, Jack, if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is this man's sense of paranoia is actually stronger than his sense of resolving the crime.
Oh, absolutely.
I see. So we can...
He would have condoned the decision Ezek would make, and Ezek, I think, is willing to make any decision that will benefit him. They're a match made in hell.
Yes,
A raging paranoid egomaniac and a man desiring power with knowledge, will, and ability to get it. The only reason Ezek has not totally replaced him, in my estimation, is that he thinks it's a cushier, easier job living where he is now.
No doubt.
Can't read.
Yeah. So then what do you need to do?
He wants character assassination.
Do we know anything about the characters that we are doing this to?
Not as yet. I imagine they're probably better for the town.
Roll roll a perception check, everyone.
Okay.
Oh god, he's eavesdropping, isn't he?
I always have to look at the result of Jack's dice since they're black. Jack, with the 17 roll, you notice a gaunt-looking man huddling on the corner of one of the houses next to you. It appears as if he doesn't want to be seen, but he's obviously, by your check there, listening into your conversation.
Walk over to him and very loudly say, "Hello, sir. You look like a man who's down on his luck. Here, have some gold." Flip him 3 gold pieces.
He allows them to land in the mud, in the rain, and
Well, that's just rude, sir.
and bows to you. And he says, "I see I have been discovered."
And you are?
Let us say that I am just one that likes to keep tabs on interesting persons in this town.
Do you work for the opposition?
The opposition to who you have just been speaking, perhaps. Why? Do you wish to betray your new master, the ruler of this great town?
Hold my arms wide. I'm a fool in love. What can I say?
I have no business with you if you wish to align yourself with such an evil man as the Burgomaster.
I wish to align myself with just about anyone who will see me to my goal.
In that case, my friend, you will not mind if I excuse myself and remove myself from this conversation.
What did you say your name was again?
My name is unimportant, and if you wish to learn it, you will allow me to leave.
Jack looks like he's considering something very heavily.
Take as much time as you would like. A 14 is what you've got. Oh, you're here now. I don't need to tell you. You're rolling your own dice. I don't need to tell you the results of them.
Oh, and just for shits and giggles.
Uh-oh. A
Persuasion.
shits and giggles roll. 2 of them from Jack.
Okay, good. Slightly better than a 1.
What would you like to
Anyway.
do, sir?
Well, that was to resist the urge to try and have Elias and Alexandra just help me kill this motherfucker before he leaves.
And did you succeed or not? At your own rolls with your own dice check
Yes.
or difficulty checks.
Unfortunately. The most practical option is if this guy just disappears, but
But Jack does what?
bows deeply and lets him leave.
As he's leaving, he says, "Very well decision there, my friend. My name is Ernst. I may seek you out later." And as he leaves, you understand
I'm
that
sure you'll know where to find me.
you understand completely that he overheard all of your conversation from the time that you left the mansion.
Fine by me. I have nothing to hide.
Well, then he also knows that we're actually not really trying to help the Burgomaster. We're just using the deception for our own ends.
Well, what he heard was what you guys said out loud. That's all he knows.
Well, we were talking about paranoia and all that, so it should be obvious that we think he's crazy.
I said nothing ill of him. You guys were having that conversation.
Regardless,
As I'm saying.
good job on Jack for noticing a spy in the midst.
Look at my two friends, smile broadly. Oh, I've missed this game.
I'm glad to hear it. I have no desire for it, my friend.
Nor do
That's
I.
good. You're too honest for it.
All right. And looking around, you realize that you're getting quite soaked in the rain. You have the Burgomaster behind you in his mansion, and you have Blinsky's toys ahead of you. And if that sounds like or railroading, you do not have to go there. I'm just saying. It's completely optional. It's up to
It's
Is no
optional,
fun.
and yet you've
Is
hinted
no
at it like
blink-
5 times throughout the campaign so far today.
Yeah, really.
Say, is no fun, is no Blinsky.
Is no fun, is no Blinsky, is what all the toys say around here.
Take one, take a friend in each hand, and skip merrily towards the toy store.
Yeah, I feel like I've DM
I'm
railroaded
not
you into this
paraphrasing
place.
there.
Maybe what we need now is some toys to make us feel better, right?
Alexander face bombs.
Okay. No, seriously, guys, I'm not railroading you into this. It's completely optional. Did you want to explore Blinsky or not?
Why do I have the feeling if we go in there, we're going to need to roll initiative almost immediately?
It could happen. I'm not saying it won't.
But we have where else to go really right now. So, if Jack wants to remove suspicion from himself, it makes sense that he would go somewhere right like that, right?
All I'm saying is that there's a lot of rain going on. That's all I am saying.
It's really wet. We need to get out of the rain. Yeah.
All right. There are. Oh, our new host. Did he tell you what he told me in the kitchen?
No, the only person that knows what Irwin told you was you. Irwin seemed like a pretty good guy, but he wanted to explain to you that he had a favor to ask, but he didn't want to intrude on the pressing matters that you guys had at hand. So all of that stuff is kind of on the back shelf of your priorities.
Oh, our new host. He, well, here, let me explain like this. As we're walking, pull out the potato, hold it up proudly. It's all about this.
It's the Marty Koff potato.
Okay, it's not about this, but what I'm going to do with this later is very fun. That being said, he's asked us when we have a chance to examine why the Wizards of Wine has stopped flowing to his establishment.
Yes, Jack recalls the old crow who runs the Wizard of Wines. The Marty Koffs would appreciate some investigation in that matter.
You've been. Go ahead.
What I'm going to do with this potato later is completely separate. Put the potato away.
Given how you were staring at that guard's rear earlier today, I really do not have any sort of questions whatsoever on what you'll be doing with that potato later.
Yes, where exactly do you stow the potato away? Potato.
That's a good question.
There are.
Cod piece!
I need to censor myself if there are children listening to this.
Oh, no, you don't.
And I see a 7 rolled. Oh, we got a 13 here. Sleight of hand. Something happened. If it's something that needs to be sent to me in Discord, that's fine.
It's not. The potato just disappears.
Oh, Lord.
God.
Oh boy.
Successfully, the potato disappears unless we have perception checks to counter them. If
Hold on.
If any characters would like to roll perceptions to see where the potato disappears,
Oh, Lord.
Alexandra notices where it goes.
Elias is not trying not to look. It just looks
Very wise, my friend. Alexandra, you notice the potato disappears, and Jack will tell you where.
Oh God, I really don't need
It
to
just
know.
got slipped up his sleeve.
Okay.
A sleeved potato. The one up the potato up the sleeve.
So Elias just kind of looks confused, but he eventually says, "Well, I'm all for helping the innkeep, as he was quite, hospitable. That sounds fine."
Our first priority at this point is Jeeves. To that end, we need evidence.
We have evidence. I wasn't allowed
No, we don't. We have a story which he will not believe, even if it is the truth. Or he will just take Milov and break the boy's neck. Is Jeeves' life so important to you that you would trade another?
Hmm.
You don't want me to answer that.
Yes, I'm sure the butler's life is actually more important to her, but as Jack just said, even if we told the other story, we still have no evidence further, so it's a story for a story, either way.
Believe me when I say a man like this has already made his decision. We are changing his mind. That is all. He no longer cares whether or not Jeeves actually did it. He cares that he has someone to parade in front of the people as the absolute culprit and is able to prove it to each and any person who would dare to ask him.
Yes, he's quite fond of parades in general. It would seem he wants to put us out in front of the people and show us as heroes.
Yes, I can see it now. The magnificent duo.
I want no part of it. I just want to do what we came here to do.
I'm beginning to forget what that even is.
We came here tracking a vampire.
We've found several more. That being said, our goal is still to kill your vampire.
Out of character. The goal of coming to Vallaki was to discover Isaac's long-lost sister.
We meant to Barovia in general.
Okay.
Yeah, Ismark's sister.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I say?
Ezek's.
I'm sorry, I got Isaac on the mind.
Oh, Lord!
I hope Isaac doesn't have a sister, because I feel
Yeah.
bad for her.
That would be bad.
If Isaac had a sister, who the hell could it be? That is a question
Oh,
for
God.
another lifetime. Have we reached
Oh,
a
God.
good point
No,
to wrap
no,
this
I thought of a good...
session
I
up?
thought of an answer for that one.
Oh, well, please, by all means, go ahead.
Carmilla!
No. No one knows of Carmilla yet, but I doubt that such a newcomer to the land would be any kind of sibling to such a creature as Isaac Strozny.
Just
Well,
being-
I mean, Elias kind of knows Carmilla, knows of her, sort of.
On rumors of what other people have said happened during the burning of some witches?
Yeah, because even if he did see it, he's blocked it out of his mind, so he wouldn't recall it, really. But he's heard the stories, yeah.
Yeah, he's heard the stories, but as far as I know, he has never seen anything by his own eyes.
That's correct, yeah.
And speaking of not seeing things by their own eyes, I would like to point out that Jack's recreation of the image of the person he is hunting was based on that of someone that was explained to him, not that he actually saw. But who could imagine a better character artist, if you were a policeman, than someone who could summon an image of someone and have someone else critique it to say, no, their eyes were a little bit more like this or that. So, although Jack firmly believes that he has this culprit in hand and identified, the chance exists that it is all based off of the explanation of one person who saw them as they were fleeing.
Right.
Doesn't care, goal in hand, gonna kill him.
Yes, someone
Potato!
needs to die, right? Alright, so you guys are standing in the street. I don't know how much time everyone has. Please.
I'm free.
Okay,
I
so
don't work tomorrow, so I got all night.
Sunraiser is free. Brent, how are you?
I could go for at most maybe another hour or two.
Oh,
Maybe.
Lord, you guys have much more time than I do. And Jack, Logan, how much time do you have to play this game?
people are ready to go.
Well,
The only thing I have to do after this is go to the ER.
What?
Remember that hole in my arm? There's a hematoma that's probably not a hematoma because it's not going away.
Okay, well, in the sake of not wanting my players to die, I think that Logan should go ahead to the ER and I should wrap this up.
I was not saying that in the least. There's a reason I didn't mention it. It really hasn't bothered me until today.
Well,
I
yeah,
am in
but
no danger.
hey,
It is just annoying.
seriously though, if I was to shut this down now, as we usually do at 11 o'clock my time, would you go to the ER and take care of yourself?
Yeah, probably.
All right, we're done here. I will see you guys next week, and Logan, get yourself taken care of, buddy.
No wisdom checks required. Just,
No wisdom checks required. We do not want you to. Life is fragile, and my players are some of the most important people to me. So, please go take care of yourself. And we will meet back next Wednesday. The whole I'm not going to be here, and the whole Ailstorm concert is not happening until next month.
July.
Right. So next week we will all reconvene. Jeeves will be brought up to speed on exactly how his life was saved by his companions as he heroically waited for them in the tavern. Resting up.
Jeez.
And as far as like open wounds go, what have we learned? They need to be treated, maybe sewn up sometimes. If you have a wound in your flesh that is deeper than, let's say, quarter of an inch, half an inch, like maybe you should have stitches and go and take care of that. Especially if you work as some corporate slave like I do every day and have insurance, go and get that shit taken care of, because gangrene exists no matter what decade we're in, no matter what century we're in, and I don't want my buddies to die.
I think you've convinced him. I don't think you need to do a PSA.
Yeah, public service announcement. Logan, go to the fucking ER. Oh my god.
You see, as it stands, I'm in the Midwest, and the last time I went in for a stab wound, because it has happened before, they looked, they poked, you're fine, go home.
I feel a butt coming on.
No butt. It's scabbed over. I was fine.
Okay, scabbed over or not, though, like, no staph infection, like, you're gonna go and get this taken care of. We're gonna hear from you tomorrow, and you're gonna give us a story of how everything is fine.
Yes.
I shut my finger in a mousetrap last night. I'm fine.
I chipped my tooth this morning.
Dump rubbing alcohol on it. Cover it. It's fine.
I didn't break skin.
Then it won't hurt when you dump the rubbing alcohol on it.
I can't speak for his chipped tooth, but
My chipped tooth is fine.
Maybe you don't dump rubbing alcohol on that.
if we're all fine, should we just continue?
I have rubbed alcohol on my chipped tooth, and it is so much better than it used to be. Yeah, 3 bottles of beer and one glass of wine. The alcohol is in, and like earlier, someone was talking about how my car got exploded upon with fix-a-flat fluid and is stained. I told them a car is a car; it's only a material possession. But the thing that's really been bothering me is my fucking tooth got chipped today. That sucks. That's something that's going to stick with me. So, yeah, chipped tooth. And if anyone understands the reference of maybe I should get some friend with a thimble to smooth it out for me, I would be very impressed if anyone got that reference. But I'm pretty sure it's just me and my creepy wife that understands what the hell that means.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, good time to stop the recording. So recording is stopping now. Say goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next week. Say hi to Mark since he's listening to this all recorded.
Goodbye, everyone. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Scouts.
Good night.
Bye.
You
Nobody
earned the friends, like, proving your innocence badge in Scouts. All right.